Hey, and welcome to Cooking with Krissy. Now, I don't know about you, but when I'm making a bunch of people cocktails, I get a little Jewish mom worried, and I always want to make sure that they have something to eat. So right now, I'm going to teach you a really easy, yummy recipe that will kind of pat everyone's stomach as you are giving them cocktails. Right now, we are going to make goat cheese, prosciutto, honey and basil crostinis. Now, what makes something a crostini is the bread. So the first thing we're going to do is make little crostini toasts. We're going to take a fresh baguette and we are going to cut it. Each slice I'm going to cut is between 1/4 of an inch and 1/2 an inch thick. Most importantly, you want to make sure that each slice is even with all the other slices so that they have an even baking time. Okay. Now that our bread is cut to perfection, we are going to layer it on a magical baking sheet. We want to make sure that none of the bread is touching the other pieces of the bread and that they're all just kind of spread out. Voila! We have crostinis all laid out on our baking tray. Now, to prepare them to go into the oven, which is preheating to 425 degrees, we are going to drizzle some olive oil right over the tops of everything. Just a nice thin line of olive oil. And we're going to get all of them all rubbed in so that both the back and the front has a really light coating of the olive oil. You don't want anything too decadent. This is the amount of olive oil that it should have. Once our olive oil is rubbed in, I'm going to take some salt and dust the tops of these guys with some salt. And I'm going to do the exact same with some pepper. My beautiful soon-to-be crostinis have been cut, olive oiled, peppered, and salted, and now I'm going to place them in that 425 degree oven for around 10 minutes or until you notice that the crostinis have a consistency of toast. You want them to be brown, you don't want them to be burned, and you want them to be hard. We'll check back then. With our crostinis about to come out of the oven, I just want to show you all of our prepped ingredients ready to go. I have some honey, some goat cheese, some prosciutto, and some basil. Now we're about to do the last step besides like slathering everything together, which is just going to be julienne cutting the basil. Let me zoom in and show you how. When you're slicing herbs, what you want to do is kind of roll them into a small bundle all together, and then slowly do fine chops all the way down with them still bundled up. That way, when you're finished, you have beautiful long pieces and they're all about the same size. Cool, it's game time with our crostini. Oh yeah, you can kind of smell when they're ready, but just so you can take a look, you can see that these guys are toasty brown. Let's put them down and let them cool off for just a couple of minutes. No need to burn ourselves here. These crostini toasts, once they're cooked, should last for about a week in an airtight container. So if you make extra, I just leave them on the counter and munch them all the time. We start with our base, the crostini. On this base, we are going to take some honey, just a little bit. You don't want them to be too sweet. And you're gonna just smear it right on top. This is like the special surprise of the crostini. No one ever expects that little sweet that will contrast with all our meats and cheeses. When we get all our honey on, we're gonna take a slather of goat cheese and we're gonna put on a pretty thick layer. Now that we have our honey and we have our goat cheese, I'm gonna take a piece of prosciutto, fold it, and place it right on top. And then we're gonna do our final step, which is just taking a little bit of the basil and putting it on top so it looks nice and beautiful and you get those 3 pretty colors. I don't know if you can see this or not, but here we have the crostini, and I'm gonna show you guys one more time in a close-up. You are gonna start by spreading a little bit of honey on the top of the crostini. Then we're gonna take a slightly thicker layer of the goat cheese. You're gonna take a piece of prosciutto and gently lay it on top, followed by a little bit of basil. So you have a nice, pretty crostini. Here you have it, a tasty, stomach-padding, delicious little passy appetizer that you guys can nibble on while you have your drinks. So simple, so easy, and you can always make it with like a million different ingredients. So have fun, invent, and enjoy. I'll see you guys later.